There we go. Okay, that should be fine. Good morning, good morning, good morning. No longer good morning, good afternoon. We are 1 minute past, so not too late. Not as bad as usual. Anyway, it's going to be a chaotic stream, I can tell you that already. Because apart from the bags under my eyes, I am not going on holiday. I am just fully packed. Anyway, welcome to Light Bite, the Friday lunchtime stream, where we do something tangentially book related. Today, that won't make sense to a lot of people, so this is a good way to start. Let's go with introductions. My name is Cennamo-Smith. I am an author, digital artist, 3D animator, and what we are doing today is continuing the stream where we make a new book cover for an upcoming series that is going to be starting in a couple of months, but we do the cover first so we have something to publish it with. So yeah, as I said, Nick Cennamo-Smith, that's me, that's the thing. Welcome to YouTube and Twitch / Nick Cennamo-Smith. This should, if I can check everything out, pull that over here. Hey, you saw nothing, paint behind the curtain. There we go. It appears to be working on Twitch. Oh, I think it's working on Twitch. This might just spammed with full chat. Yep, everything appears to be working. Don't know if there's anybody here. There's not, but that's fine. We are starting off. We are new to this on Twitch. I'm just glad everything is working the way it should. Because last week it was chaotic. How's everybody's day been? How's everybody's week? It's been a while since. It's been exactly a week since I was here last. For those of you who don't know, or if you enjoy any of this, if you enjoy good stories, I am really, really out of it today. I'm sorry, it's been a week. It's been a very long week for me. But we're going to do this because we promised we would, and this work needs to get done regardless of how exhausted we all are. So yeah, I said I am an author. I write a crime fantasy series called Monsters Lost and Found. I also do a monthly series called The Rat Kings of London, and I do a monthly short story as well. If you like any of those sorts of things, if you like fantasy, crime, thrillers, dramas, horror especially, there's a lot of that going around at the moment, then scroll down to the bottom. There is links. Pardon me, there's definitely links on YouTube. Don't know about Twitch, I'm still setting that up. Basically, I was trying to set everything up this morning. There appears to be some links, yeah. Basically, I was setting up everything this morning, including our Discord channel. There is a Discord channel, and I finished everything and I pushed the wrong button and lost it all. So yeah, an entire morning's work wasted. So that's obviously not added to my stress levels at all, and nor to my sugar intake. But c'est la vie. So, what are we doing today? We are continuing the work on this cover. This won't make a lot of sense to you. But what we have been doing is finishing work on this. This is the new, what will be the basis of the new cover for a crime noir series that is going to be coming out in not next month, the month after. I've lost. Where are we? We're in March. Yeah, so so yeah, 2 months. This should be coming out. So we're going to get everything. We're just going to get everything ready to begin with. So what you can see here, we've got some lovely buildings. We've got some nice stars. It's looking quite nicely. Film noir, Frank Miller, Sin City style, which is what I'm going for. What is very out of place, unfortunately, is this little fella right here, because we do not want a little mannequin man. That wouldn't look good. It looks odd, but it wouldn't look good. So what we are doing today is we are finishing our detective, which you may or may not notice is a grasshopper, or at least partially a grasshopper. Yeah, it will make sense somewhat in context. So what we're going to do today, last week, because we're only here for an hour every week, so that's all the time I can actually spare for this at the moment, is we made the head and attached it to this body and gave him some extra limbs. Some technical issues with that. So what we're doing today is dressing him, because he can be nude. There's lots of ways to dress a character. I'm going to do the very, very easy way, which is make a backup copy. Let's call him Hopper, because we're inventive like that, and we're going for satire here. Well, not necessarily. We're going for a kind of a comedy noir style, sort of tongue-in-cheek punny. That's my area of expertise. I'm very punny. And what we're going to do basically is going to build his clothes off of him. Now, I could make life easy for myself, and I probably should. So I'm going to cut him in half. Is that exactly in half, or have I missed anything? I think that is exactly in half. Oh, oh, the horror. Oh, the humanity. It's not a human, it's a grasshopper, so it's okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically symmetry him. So there we go. Now anything I do to one side will happen to the other. Is there a gap there? Ooh, no, doesn't look like it. Okay, good. As long as there's no gaps, we're fine. Just gonna check, because you can never be too sure. Oh, crunch, crunch, crunch. There goes my spine. Yeah, no, everything's good. Everything's along 0, as you can see here, which is what we aim for right now. Now our gentleman grasshopper here is going to be wearing a lovely pair of, I believe the Americans call it, slacks. So we're going to fill out basically. Yeah, it's going to. Ooh, why is your leg off? There we go. So we want from there to. I want that bit as well. Let's flare it out. The proportions of my character, you may notice, are a bit odd, and that's fine because I like odd proportions. This is a default character base that I have. See, trousers that easy. We do need plain. Let's just make sure. Just got that bit, yeah. Should be. Move those points onto the 0 axis. There we go, and then we can delete it, and that should all be fine. Apart from I think there's a point somewhere around there. That shouldn't be. Yeah, let's tuck you in just a little bit so we get more space. That's fine. We're going to pull. Just for some reason didn't look right. Point by point modelling is dull as hell, but sometimes needs to be done. If anyone has any questions about what exactly is going on here, anything that I'm doing, I'm not great at tutorials, but I will give it my best shot. Again, here's the odd thing. I have absolutely no idea exactly how much of this detail is going to show up in what I'm doing today, I mean in the final thing, but I want it to be there just in case it does appear, or if any kind of slight detail could add something. Modelling any kind of character is an absolute pain in the butt. I am not a fan, but I have done it. It's not necessarily the modelling side, it's the, oh, forgot you. It's the rigging side. Rigging is a horrible thing. The fact that there are teams dedicated to nothing but rigging should tell you exactly how much of a ball ache that job is. And I respect any team that has the time or patience to rig and weight an entire character, because I can't do it. I just can't do it. I haven't got it in me. That's not right. Come here. I don't just need to pull you and you. I'm going to come forward a little bit. You are going to remain. Why are you bent? Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, that should be okay. Now again, this is not going to be very detailed for right now, but the reasons why will make sense shortly. And all will be revealed. Not necessarily in this stream, but we'll do our best, I promise. So I'm trying not to do any additional work on this in between streams because I want the process to be fully documented for anybody interested enough to watch what's going on here. The only thing I have done outside of the stream is I messed around with some technical stuff because that was boring as hell for me, so I can't imagine how dull it would be for anybody actually caring to watch. Right, okay, so basic slacks. Let's check. There we go, he's got his trousers on. We're going to stick, later on, we're going to stick a buckle on there. I know it doesn't look very interesting right now, very detailed, but that is by design. Because then when you do something like that, it kind of curves everything around for you and makes it nice and soft, but we don't want that at the moment. Okay, what else? Okay, despite the fact, and I say this knowing that most of this is going to get covered up, but despite the fact he's going to be wearing a full-length duster jacket, we are, for the most part, going to give him a shirt. Because, well, why not? He needs a shirt. He's going to be cold otherwise. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. That's enough of that, I think. Right, this is going to require some uber fiddling, because we don't want this line, "Hey world, oh darkness my old friend." We want this as best we can to remain tucked behind the belt. And again, point by point, you've got to do it sometimes. But you cannot have an untouched shirt. It's very messy. It's inappropriate. It's terrible, terrible carry on. Right, okay. Ooh, no, don't need you. So we'll go around and select the interior ones that have been built, so we can flatten them and delete them purely for the purposes of keeping the symmetry going. So so that's the shirt. And again, this is all pretty basic. It's all very, very low poly modeling because a lot of this detail is going to be lost in effectively the shadows of the actual image itself. But it's always good just to have a little something. Okay, how do you look? Fine, okie dokie. Right, what we're going to do now is, for absolute giggles, we've got to pull out a bit of a collar here. Visible only, single line. So we're going to pop, 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 and pop. That should be enough. Oh, that didn't do what I wanted it to at all. There we go. Actually, collars don't go all the way around the front, do they? And again, easy peasy lemon squeezy. We're getting used to that now. We would hope. Let's tuck you back in there, bring you down. We're going to even lift those up a little bit so we have a kind of nice lifted collar. Could just lift up. That should be enough. Lift it down a little bit. Again, pull it that way. And again. could technically speaking do all that at the end, but it would be tedious and I don't want to. Again, just a little, but it's enough, and any things in there will make it look a bit naff, a little bit more naff than it already does. There we go. Okay, collar. And what does every collar require? It requires a, why am I buzzing? Always good news when that happens, right? This might look a bit odd to begin with, but it will make sense. I need to make a spline. Can add to you. Oh, that's about to come down there. Okie dokie. That should be fine. Mirror them. What was it? Delete that point and we make sure the spine's closed. Are you there? Are you all the way there? Oh dear. Oh, that's why. So mind those points. There we go. It was trying to double up everything. There we go. That should be fine. Nice. Okay. So what we are going to do, very quite simply, is going to drag a little shape like this along the edge of the spine. That is significantly too big because I am working in a much smaller scale than would be standard. Right. Okay. No, wrong one. There we go. That's just for this. No, I need some lines. There we go. Yeah. So then we're gonna. That should be fine. So we're gonna leave that 30. We're gonna drop that down to 10. We're gonna select that point there. We're gonna pull it up ever so slightly. Can I rotate? No, I can't. No. But there we go. That's something. I don't worry about numbers. I am here to have fun and get some work done. Okay, again, probably not going to see this, but meta banking. Let's turn on. Is banking turned on? We do that the opposite way, so we go 10 and 40. That looks more like it, doesn't it? That looks more like a tie, which is kind of what we're going for here. Right, that's that taken care of. That's, again, sometimes manually messing around is the easiest way to get things done. There. Good. Okay. Hang about. All I want is you two, so grasshopper can bugger off for a moment or two. Double one. Two. Oh, there we go. Pull you up there. Pull you out. Pull you in just a little bit to be enough. And let's pull that back just so we make sure it disappears. Okay. Alright, is that good enough? There we go. Okie dokie. Right, now we're going to have some fun. Because we want this tie to to be blowing in the wind. How far down does your tie usually go? It's been a while since I've worn a tie. Okay. Alright, we're going to do a similar thing where we're going to sweep. Let's pop you and you in together so we have. There we go, we've got a tie. Let's call it neck tie, flowy tie. There we go. We want natural. Prefer natural. 3. And why are you doing it? Don't do it per segment. It's going to be uniform then, isn't it? There we go. That should be fine. Okay. Right, now here's where it's going to be fun. How wide do we want this tie? Oh, it's going to be the height. 110 should be enough. Yeah. Cool. And thickness, definitely too thick for a tie. That should be fine. Okie dokie. Now we get to mess around with details. This is scale. I really wish I could just do scale in one axis. Linear solid. Linear is easier to handle. There we go. Quite simply, that is a very easy way to make a tie. Why do I keep getting welcome to chat messages? Very peculiar. Can I go to my dashboard? No. Yeah. Just go. That's true. There we go. Maybe that's where I should be. See, I'm still just very, very, very slowly getting. That's the wrong. Still very slowly getting the hang of all of this, and who knows? Yeah, we'll get around to it later. We'll do all of that technical stuff another time. That's not what we want to do in the stream, is it? Right. Okie dokie. So that was done. That's nice and easy. And what we're going to do is going to I'm going to turn off banking first of all. Hang about. Banking. Again, this is why automated things are a pain in the ass, because I can't do anything about that unless I switch that to 1, 0, and 10. So that should be fine actually. That doesn't look too bad, does it? There we go. We've got a tie blowing in the wind. For the sake of it, make it bigger. I think I need to add more points there. So we've got 1 point that goes into the tie, further back. Stop it from turning. Again, it's not going to be seen, it's going to be dark, it's going to be fine. He says, hopefully. Right. Okay, that's that. That's tie sorted. Leave tie there. We've got hopper, we've got tie, we've got done. Now this is where it's going to get annoying. Let's do the concept objects. There we go. Okay, one item, because I've done pretty much the basics there. The feet are big enough that they can cover issues, and again, they're very unlikely to be seen. Right. What we do actually need, what every good detective, especially every good noir detective, needs is a trilby hat. So let's make a trilby. Something nice and easy. Let's start with let's make it as easy on ourselves as we can. Let's start with an actual cylinder for a change. Normally I start everything with a cube because you can't beat the habits of an education. 12. Okay. So I need to make sure that our trilby fits his head. I know I literally rotated that 90 degrees and nothing really changed for you, but it moved that this point here so that I can actually mess with it. Okay. That looks ridiculous. Perfect. Right. So trilby looks nice and thin. Pull it in just a little bit, so that's where the base of the hat's going to be. Okay, so now we can pull all of that out and pull and up. Ooh, wrong way. Pull up. It may appear that I don't know what I'm doing. There's a good reason for that. See if you can work out what it is. That needs to be a bit flatter. Yeah, I have no idea if this is actually going to look good or not, or it's going to be a huge waste of time. And as far as I can tell, actually, a trilby hat needs to be a little more. Why aren't you in the center? You are in the center. You are not. Why weren't you in the center? How badly is that throwing everything I've just done off? It hasn't. Okay, that's good. Right, 1 second. You should be necktie there. Let's call you Hopper again so I don't lose you. Hopper with 3 P's, you know, as is required. Right, okay. Back to my hat. That needs to be, for the sake of its sticking to the comical side of things, it needs to be a bit bigger. It needs to turn back that way. Pull over here. Yes, his antennae are going to be sticking out of the front of it. Up. This will all make sense in a moment, and fully where it looks very low poly and not quite right, and that's the way it shall remain until the very last moment to avoid foolery. That's not the right word, but who needs syntax? Okay. Actually, this hat needs to be bigger, but we'll deal with that again in a moment. Oh, that's 2. 20, no, 2's too many still. 1. What on earth? That's fine, okay. That seems to have done the ticket a little bit. I'm going to drop you down, I'm going to drop you down as well to stay even. Good around this in symmetry as well, but oh well. Right. So this needs to come in along with all of you. There we go. Okay. A little bit too much. There we go. It's a little. I'm not sure. We'll see how that looks in the end. I can always come back and mess with it afterwards. Yeah. Keep everything separate. No, not in the necktie. You go in the side hopper. Right, and now we need the coat, which okay, this is going to be a similar thing to how we make the shirt, but we're going to do this on a separate thing entirely because I am quite entirely unsure how to do this with a 4-armed character. That is not something I've done before. Bipedal's great, can do that. Not even pedal, biarm. What's the last thing for multi-armed? Right, this is going to be the jacket. Right, okay. Straight down. Just going to cut all of that straight down because we do not need you. Turn that off so we've got the tie. There we go. Right, got the multi-arm jacket. What we do need then is from this jacket. To flare it out. And this is going to be an old school detective duster, so it's going all the way down. Yep, I'm aware it's not quite right at the moment, but it will be. His limbs are also not staying in that kind of pose. Yeah, he's not going to be in T pose or V pose or whatever pose it is. I should technically know the poses, but never bothered to really learn. The T pose is the main one that you need. Okay. Oh dear. Don't need all of that. So what we don't need is you or you. So come back. Do just lining up as much as we can with the figure, with their pose, with his pose, so it will be fine. I'm gonna want to die just a little bit. That's sticking out a bit too far for my liking. There we go. That should be fine. Sorry, I'm just getting welcome to chat messages. I'm already in chat. Why are you welcoming me? It's appreciated, but I would argue unnecessary. Right, okie dokie. Okay, so that is basically the jacket. That's all we're going to do. What last thing we're going to add before we do anything else. And this might just be because I want to add some details later on or highlight them to give a bit more interest. To make him look a bit more interesting. Yeah, I'll put a belt buckle on there just because. You never know when you need a good belt buckle. And again, this might just be something that I add some white highlight details onto for the render, so that when it pops, it looks a bit more interesting. And what we're going to do is just an end side, sweep you over there. End side needs to be 5 maybe. Yeah, 13. 4 sides is enough. That can just be uniform because the adapt is a bit excessive for a low poly belt buckle. That works. And again, there's absolutely no need to necessarily go into any of this detail, but just in case I decide later on it'll be easier to have and not need than not have. Let's pull all of you out now because I'm going to pop that in Hopper to be part of his character. Okay, good enough for rock and roll. Right, 40 minutes in and we've kind of dressed him. You can understand why doing this sort of thing takes so long. And what we're going to end with is some very, very basic rigging. Right, so there we go. For those of you who have not had the pleasure of rigging before, I would advise get someone else to do it at all times. Right, so I've got roots. Okay, I'll label all these up in a moment, but basically what I'm doing here is adding the important bones to this figure. Half of these are probably not going to be used because I should have been there. doesn't need to go inside the limbs, it just needs to be at a point where I can see. And then labeling is very important because, as you can see, they've just all come in as joint and then a number. Right, okay, so that's legs. Now we just got to shifty everything over into position. That should be fine. Okay, that's the lower portion done. This always going to be the difficult bit because, like I say, I am used to doing creatures with the standard number of limbs. This is non-standard, right? So we're going to have a spine, we've got chest 1, chest 2, basically got a double clavicle this. So spine goes there, and base of neck, head, that's all we need. Nope. There we go. Okay, so that's spine, clav 1, nope, what's it? Stone 1. Probably not the sternum either. My knowledge of anatomy is actually quite awful, despite the number of years I spent studying. Just exactly that, right? So we've got clavicle, shoulder, elbow, wrist, hand. I'm not going to go into the hell that is rigging fingers because I don't think it's going to be necessary. His hands are going to be mostly obscured. Right, so what's this? This all looks a lot quicker when you watch tutorial videos because they cut all the boring stuff out. Here you have to suffer with me. Nope. Clavicle 2, shoulder 2. It's not how you spell shoulder. Elbow 2, wrist 2, and hand 2. Okay, here we go. Everything's still working the way it should. Yeah, for the most part. Seems like it, everything's still running. Yeah, I am surprised this has all functioned significantly better than I expected it to. Right, okay, so here's again where it gets fun. Clavicle can stay near the back. Shoulder needs to come forward so it's in place. Elbow needs to rock backwards so it's in place. Wrist and repeat. And hand, there we go. The wrist is actually far too far down. That's fine again. It's usually easy to do in T-pose, but I couldn't bother to make this in T-pose. What did I say using my model? Wrong. Shoulder, elbow, wrist, hand, yep, there we go. Save. Now, let's just save this and do a save incremental, so because I'm going to do something that's quick instead of something that's right. Because I don't need this to be as detailed as I normally would. I'm not animating this character in any way, shape, or form. If this is going to be L underscore, and so quickly near everything, then character. We're going to mirror everything. Which is naming, replace L underscore with R underscore. We're going to mirror a long world, long the x-axis, but on this should be fine. Mirror. There we go. Nice and easy. Now, I'll just keep hitting save now because at any moment all of this could go horribly wrong. Commands, bind. Right. Now this should. Hey, it works. Almost. I hate waiting. Let's turn off the jacket so we can see what's gone wrong. Wait till lock you in there. Clavicle, shoulder, elbow. We want absolute 0. We don't want any of that. We want it to auto normalize. Wrist. Fine. Okie dokie. Clavicle, shoulder, elbow. Not touching anything. It shouldn't be good. So then we've got to go. So it's just the elbow on the first clavicle which is picking up bits it shouldn't. Okie dokie. That should be fine. So just to do a quick test. Oh, it's kind of got a thing there. Oh, you're invisible only. That's why you're not working. There we go. Shoulder 1. Left elbow. Okay, let's try that again. Let's do a quick test. We're gonna go. There we go. Okay. Now I'm gonna be doing this entirely in kinematics instead of what we would normally be doing it in, which is inverse kinematics. For those of you who don't know the difference, inverse kinematics is when it's the way you move naturally. So if you pull the wrist, the entire arm moves. In regular kinematics, you have to elbow or shoulder, elbow, hand. You can't really see that. Let's shuffle over this way a little bit. So yeah, inverse kinematics, grab the wrist, pull, the entire arm goes. Regular kinematics, you have to lift, 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 lift. Anybody who's used Dad Studio, pretty much, or modelling software like that, they use primarily kinematics to do all the bends and everything. And then if you grab the wrist and pull, it kind of yanks characters this way and that. Yeah, it doesn't work as well in DAS. It's not very well suited for it. So what I'm doing here, and there is a reason for this. Select children. I'm going to lock them all at a time code of 10 seconds, and I'm going to take a little bit. That's just 15 should be enough. And then over the course of 5 seconds, all these joints are going to move into position. And the reason for that is I'm going to be actively making the cloak wobble in the wind. I need that to be a bit more active and a bit more cloth-like in order to give it the look that I want it to. Let's have. There we go. Ooh, not that way. Ooh, not that way. reaching more towards his hat. There we go. Everything's going to be blowing in the wind. Let's just turn feet out ever so slightly. Okay, well that should be all we need. So, see, nice and simple. Okay, let's save right now what we're going to do and why this is important, because you might notice now that if I just play he moves, the jacket does not move with him, and I want that jacket to move with him. So again, going to hit save, and we're going to do some things. We're going to do simulation. We're going to give you a cloth collider. Turn off that because I need to see these details now. I don't want 5, I want a good friction of say 80. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the jackets cloth. I'm going to give it a cloth surface first because I want it to have a little bit of thickness to it. A little bit of dynamics. That makes it a bit nicer. Thickness 10. There we go. Do we want bulging? No. Ooh, do we want bulging? If I make that 3 and give it some bulging, does that look better? It does. Is it an extra subdivide? No. That should be enough. Okay. Again, this should work. Don't know. I hope this works. I'm going to find out one way or the other. What else do I need? I need something done. Where's me? Particles. Wind. I want a good strong wind. That's going to be blowing that way. How fast are you blowing? Not very. That should be enough. Right. Okay. Cloth surface, simulation, cloth. Cache. Expert. We want self collisions. Forces. Expert. Limit to no. This should just. He says it should just work. We're going to find out one way or the other. So let's push a button. And if this takes too long. Right, nothing's happening. Okay. Because you need to be on there. There we go. Oh. I hope whenever anybody gets around to watching this, I know I get some things usually just not when I'm online, which is fun. But yeah, I hope it's been enjoyable. I hope it's been somewhat educational. As always, I'm not much of a tutorialist, although I did used to, for a brief period across a couple of years, teach this software, which was always fun. Well, that's kind of. Oh, nice. I'm dressing him. We're undressing him very, very slowly. That's not too bad actually, but then yeah, everything kind of comes back on. Okay, let's say the wind picks up around about, we want the wind to start then, I think. So what's that, 13, so good making things easy, it's called 14 seconds. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That pick it up to 1,000. Calculate cache. This might take a bit longer, but that's fine. And we're going to do our sign off because we're going to see how this looks. And then we're going to pop them in, and then next week the cover should be finished. on my other computer. Watching percentages is just thrilling stuff. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this, thank you for being here. As always, my name is Cennamo-Smith. I'm, to reiterate everything from the start, I'm an author, 3D artist and animator, believe it or not. I write crime fantasy series as well as some horror short stories, some sci-fi short stories, a monthly series currently running, The Rat King of London, set in Victorian London, 1889, about sentient rats that are discovering a conspiracy, which is quite fun. There's 2 episodes of that left. They come out 1 every month. So if you sign up for Patreon, you can read them all. It's great. You get early access to all the short stories too. Also, if you sign up for the Patreon on the highest tier, you get all of my ebooks just included. So it's a pretty good deal. You get 3 fully completed ebooks. There is a 4th one coming out in a couple of months. If you're subscribed, you just get that as well straight away. Links are in the description below. You can find me on Patreon at patreon.com/NickCennamo-Smith. Difficult name to spell below. There's a link. You can also find me on Instagram at nick.cennamo-smith. Link is also below. Those of you who've been watching this on YouTube, thanks, welcome back. For those of you who've been watching on Twitch, let me know how you found me, because I have no idea how Twitch works and I've been learning. Today was the first stream on Twitch and I think it went okay. I think it went off without a hitch, he says. Unsure, but we're still live, so it's still working. Ooh. And let's finish off by seeing how this looks. We're gonna just speed it along. I can speed it along. I think I want. Ooh. What? I cached you. There we go. I think I want a bit more. I'm going to mess around. This is where, again, this bit is not fun, but I am going to mess around with the settings of this and see if I can get it to look somewhat better. Because that's not enough of a wiggle, I think, for everything that's going on. But we'll see. I'll pop it in the scene and see how it looks. Anyway, thank you for being here. Again, my name is Cennamo-Smith. I will try and do a proper sign-off at some point. Thank you for coming. You can find me on YouTube every Friday and Twitch now every Friday. There is a Discord channel which I was trying to set up this morning. It does exist. There are some posts on there. You can check that out if you want to follow and get involved. It's great. Any way you choose to support, just being here has been great. Like and subscribe, all of those things. Comments go a great way. If you want some fun books, there's a link to my website below where you can get the full trilogy of my book series, Monsters Lost and Found. There is the monthly release on Patreon of short stories and monthly serial. I'm exhausted. And now I've got more work to do, so I'm going to very quickly inhale something sugary and get back to work. So, the rest of you, have a lovely day, have a great weekend, and I will see you next Friday. Take care. No, I apologise. I'm going to stop that right there. I will not see you next Friday. I have a prior engagement. I might post something anyway. I might do a premiere stream. I'll record something in the middle of the night for you. Creepy. Anyway, have a lovely evening, lovely day, lovely weekend, lovely life. Take care of yourselves. TTFN.